So now we will continue with the topic alimentary canal. Now we are going to see about the walls of alimentary canal. There are 4 layers in the wall of alimentary canal. Let's see one by one. The first one is, I have write it as SM and SM, which is nothing but serosa, muscularis, submucosa and mucosa. So starting with serosa, it is the outer and thin mesothelium and have connective tissue. Serosa is the outermost layer and it is made by thin mesothelium tissues, and also it will be having the connective tissue. Coming to muscularis, it is a smooth muscle and it has 2 layers in it. One is inner and outer. The inner will be usually circular and the outer will be longitudinal. So the next part is submucosa. Submucosa layer is made up of loose connective tissues. Here serosa is of connective tissue and submucosa is the loose connective tissue, and it has nerve, blood and lymph vessels in it, in the submucosal layer. And also in some part, the submucosal layer have glands also. That is, in duodenum, in submucosal layer, there will be some glands present over there. So next layer is the mucosa. The mucosa is the innermost layer and it is forming raphe in the stomach and also villi in the small intestine. These are the overall layers found in the alimentary canal: serosa, muscularis, submucosa and mucosa. Let's see in depth. Okay, villi. Villi consists of, we already talked about in mucosa, the mucosa will be having villi in the small intestine. That is, the mucosal layer of the small intestine will be having villi, and this villi is consist of the microvilli. Microvilli are nothing but the micro like finger like projection, and these microvilli will be having the brush border appearance. So what is the use of this brush border appearance? It will increase the surface area of the villi. So in villi we have microvilli. This microvilli will be increasing the surface area. This villi is provided with capillaries and large lymph vessels. These together are called as lactal. So coming to this mucosal epithelium, it is also having globulate cell which is secretes the mucus. The mucus will be helps in the lubricating of the food, which we will be talking about later. Now in mucosal layer also we have some glands in some of the parts, which is in stomach we have gastric glands, and intestine it is forming crypts of lubricant. The crypts are between the bases of villi. We have already seen, like in the mucosal layer we have villi which is present in the small intestine. Between the intestine this will be forms crypts also. And so in submucosal layer, what we saw, the duodenum of the submucosal layer will be having glands. Here in the mucosa of the stomach and intestine also having glands. So this is the overall thing about the layers. Now we are moving to the digestive glands. We have talked about the alimentary canal, what are the parts consisting in this, starting with the mouth and anus. Then we talked about the alimentary walls. Now we are moving to digestive glands. So digestive glands are 3, which is salivary glands, liver and pancreas. Let's see one by one. So starting with salivary glands. The salivary glands, in this we have 3 pairs of glands which is providing saliva in the salivary glands. Okay, the first set is parotids, which is present in the cheeks, which is next one is submaxibular or mandibular, which is present in the lower jaw, and the next one is a sublinguals, which is present between the below tongue. All these 3 glands will provide saliva. Okay, so if you see, secrete the saliva juice into the buccal cavity. All these glands together will be secreting the saliva to the buccal cavity or oral cavity, which is next to the mouth. Now let's talk about the liver. So coming to liver. Liver is the largest gland in the human body. In adult liver, like it will be weighs about 1.2 to 1.5 kg, and the liver is present below the diaphragm. Liver is present below the diaphragm in the abdominal cavity. Liver has 2 lobes. Now, what is the functional and structural unit of the liver? It is hepatic lobules. Hepatic lobules are the structural and functional units of the liver. These hepatic lobules are made up of hepatic cells. These hepatic cells are arranged in the liver in the form of cords. Okay. Now coming to the next point, Glisson scapules. Glisson scapules are nothing but which is covering the hepatic cells. These are thin connective tissue. So the structural and functional unit of livers are hepatic lobules. The hepatic lobules are made up of hepatic cells, and these hepatic cells are covered by a thin connective tissue, which is a Glisson capsule. Now the bile secreted by the hepatic cell passes through the hepatic duct, okay, and it will be stored in the thin muscular sac, which is the gallbladder. Okay. Now, if you see in the hepatic cells, we will be having this bile will be secreted. These bile secreted by the hepatic cells, where it will go? It will go to the hepatic duct. So, it will go via the hepatic duct and it should be getting stored, no? So, it will be stored in the gallbladder, which is a thin muscular sac. Now, this cystic duct, which is a duct of the gallbladder. This is the duct of gallbladder. And this hepatic duct, which is the duct of the liver, together form a common bile duct. I hope I'm clear. Bile is getting secreted by the hepatic cells and it passes through the hepatic duct and this is getting stored in the thin muscular sac, which is the gallbladder. And we have duct and gallbladder also, which is cystic duct. So together with the cystic duct and hepatic duct, we are getting the common bile duct. So coming to the next one, pancreas. We talked about salivary glands, liver, and the last one is pancreas. Pancreas, as you all know, it is both compound, that is compound organ, which is nothing but exocrine plus endocrine organ. That is, in exocrine, it will be producing alkaline juice and enzymes, which contains enzyme. And in endocrine, it will be producing hormone, insulin, and glucagon. Okay. This pancreas is present between the limbs of duodenum. Limbs of duodenum. Like duodenum, where did you see it already? The part of a small intestine. Okay. So the pancreas is present between these limbs of this duodenum. Next. So we have bile duct, which is the bile duct, the hepatic duct plus cystic duct together form the common bile duct, that is generally known as bile duct. With this bile duct, the pancreatic duct also join and opens into the duodenum. Duodenum is which is nothing but a part of a small intestine, as hepatopancreatic duct is the and it is guarded by the sphincter of Oddi. If you see, we already talked about phylotic sphincter, gastroesophageal sphincter. In the same way, this both the ducts, bile and pancreatic ducts, opens into the duodenum as a hepatopancreatic duct, and it is guarded by the sphincter of Oddi. Okay, now we have talked about the walls of the alimentary canal, which is SM and SM, and what are the glands and what is there in it. And we talked about digestive glands, salivary glands, 3 glands in it, which is producing saliva, and liver, and then we are ending with pancreas. We will see in the next topic.